this is now many years of us doing the RSI Day. We do lots of different things. So thank you for the panel coming here and sharing some information, because we always have the experience of putting yourself into the feet or the shoes of a worker that's been working for 8, 9, 10 years, and maybe they've known a few people with injuries, but it's never happened to them, to then say, oh no, what do I do? I'm kind of like, if I don't have health and safety committee representatives or shop stewards or somebody helping, you're kind of lost, right? So I'm glad we're here to try and figure out some ideas on and share some information on after the injury, what workers need to know. Key point that I learned was WCB's act is open this year. It's only every 10 years. Okay, so this is your chance now to change the act, to give you recommendations on how to make the outcomes better, all right? So I know from Rick's talk, there's that wonderful, nice, thick guidebook, but again, being in the shoes of the worker, am I gonna read that? Do I even know about it, right? So maybe there's a way we could develop a pamphlet or something to at least get education out for workers that way. And from the appeals perspective, I've gone through the appeals over 10 years, cutting out all the WCBs. I mean, the carpal tunnel syndromes. So what I've learned is, the main theme is poor documentation. All right, so just like what Sandy was saying, document. The WCB claim at the appeal commission was either accepted or denied based on better description of the work. All right, so on Sandy, thanks for your talk. Report, describe. But I will say, not just document, but describe the job better. So I have some pictures, I got some stories to share with you, and some recommendations. And then with Rob, working with you for many years, the medical file's this thick, the WCB file's this thick. But when you go back to the very beginning, it's like, shoot, if they had just described the job better, we may not be here. Whether it was accepted or denied, at least a better description right up front. So that's a key thing. Write that down, everyone. And I got pictures to show you and some things to talk about. And I remember in university, a doctor that taught us, called it the vortex of doom, right? Hey, you keep getting hurt a lot. What's wrong with you? We have this return to work, but you're not getting better. What's wrong with you? You should have healed by now, but you're not. We're going to cut you off because you should have healed by now. Co-workers, you yourself start questioning your own sanity and everything. So they call it the vortex of doom. So today, let's not only after the speakers, and boy, do I ever sound like a frog, but after our speakers and opening questions, we have a really neat little project activity for you. So let's hopefully we can keep all these people from getting swallowed up into that vortex of doom. So on that note, 15 minutes, I'm good. This is the one and only thing you need to know. There we go. There, I'm done. There we go, got my David scores. That's all you need to know. All right, next. Boy. So I'm going to call it missed opportunities. So in my, let's see now, 28 years, I was in the automotive industry in 97, and I learned a lot of return to work and claims management at that point, or getting involved in claims in the automotive industry. And then government in 98 to 02 was very different. There was actually 5 of us that kind of did everything. There's nothing out there. There's no IBSPs or consultants or anybody to say, hey, employer, where do I go for help? So we did it all. We learned a lot. So from the program stuff to, why did that not show up again? There we go. So from the program stuff to getting involved in injury mechanisms was this work related a little bit. And then I was with the Occupational Health Center since 2002. And again, working with the doctors, getting involved in long-term claims. I've been to the WCB Appeal Commission as an expert witness. It helps, for one. just about every time. I think every time. So that's good. But most of my work is proactive, all right? But I do have some knowledge, and I want to share that with you. So in my years, I want to have better outcomes. So avoid that vortex of doom, missed opportunities. So I got my little 15 minutes here to talk about using the injury as a proactive way of helping your safety program identify what the problem may have been and make jobs better, risk assessments. I got some advice here on return to work restrictions and accommodations, where it falls down. All right, generally it's a good idea. I'm going to give you some tips and advice on how to make that a better process. And then communication. All right, so in that sense, the key for me would be some balance between not coaching a worker on how to fill out a claim, but giving them enough knowledge and education so that they can describe to their doctor and to the WCB that claim form, the green card, or something bigger, more better. That's the best way to say it, of what was going on. So again, I'll show you some examples of what I mean by that. Oh, and then just a little, I thought it'd be a little funny that, this is International Repetitive Strain Injury Awareness Day. No one uses that name RSI anymore. It was a late 90s, early 2000s thing. So when Safe Work started, 2003, 2 minutes.
Sorry, Andrew.
Don't I have to 11?
No.
You did not tell me I have to 11. All right. I thought I had to 11. Is it 11 to 15 break?
11's the break. So we started at...
All right. Oh, questions? All right, let me get to it. Oh, no, this is good stuff.
1 minute.
No, this is good stuff. All right, I'll skip that because MSIs is what was called, and now they're called MSDs, musculoskeletal disorders. And then when I was in university, it's called work-related musculoskeletal disorders. So it's a big full circle. So my legacy, when I retire, I want to get everyone to call them a new word. I'm going to call them OOSBs. All right, so everyone start calling them occupational overuse syndromes of the body. Okay, that's my joke. Okay, so communication, and it is complex. All right, so when a WCB appeal goes one way, let's just say in a worker's favor, based on evidence, WCB's policy, you're kind of out to date. That does go to WCB internally, but their lawyers are the ones that say, we're going to ignore this. They don't have to change their policy. That's something you need to know. They could, but they don't have to. All right, so every worker, individual has to get, carpal tunnel syndrome. There's no force in a keyboard, and their internal policy says forceful exertions, automatic denial. So then you got to go through the review panel, the WCP. Hey, I win my case because some way, somehow, I was able to describe some sort of pressure on my wrist. Not quote-unquote forceful exertion, but I was able to tell the panel that there's an internal pressure on my wrist. I win my case. Again, back to WCB, their lawyers go, we're ignoring. So again, 10 years, let's see if we can change the process. So it is complex, all that. So here's some very basic stuff. This is a forklift driver that was looking up, fine, but they put an aftermarket monitor on it. So it used to be paper, hard copy. Now they're looking up, but they're looking up and rotating, up and rotating, up and rotating. So destroyed the neck. Here's the point. Aftermarket monitor, it made it worse. There was no health and safety review of that, and therefore it led to problems. So from a proactive approach, we could have fixed this person's destroyed neck if the Safety and Health Committee reviewed any new equipment or major change in process. That was in the union contract that I worked at in my first job in 1996. How many places here have that in their collective agreement or just general safety program? Who's the most, nice, thumbs up, standard room, right? So on that note, who has the most knowledge, skill, and experience? Safety committee. So it's wonderful if you can put that into your safety program. Any new equipment or change of process could have avoided it. Next one, all right, return to work restrictions. No pushing, pulling, lifting, lowering more than 10 pounds. Fine. Well, that metal bin with metal parts, even though it has no wheels, it's 5 pounds. I'm within my restrictions. But should you be bending your back like that, arms out below your knee? All right, so please, everyone, the day someone leaves to because of an injury, review their job. The day before they come back, and you may or may not know the restrictions, review the job. Definitely the day they come back with the restrictions, someone on the safety committee or supervisor review the job for good ergonomic practices. Okay, so my advice also to healthcare professionals would be not just fill out the return to work form and restrictions, but say no repetitive use of the arm, no lifting, lowering, pushing, pulling more than X pounds, all within workstations that are within ergonomic standards and guidelines. Now that's still kind of vague, but at least there's that point. All right, and that is a huge issue I've seen over the years. So there's a return to work duty where you're within your restrictions, but you're going to wreck your back and then vortex of doom. The one on the right hand side, no, I don't actually use my mouse a lot. It is a light duty job. I went from the factory floor to this, but see the space they have to move that mouse? I know it's a little bright, you can't see it, but it's basically this. There's no room to move your arm, elbow, wrist. It's all wrist. So even though you're using the mouse rarely, let's talk physiotherapy language and OT language. Rarely, occasionally, often, always. So you do the physical demands analysis. The mouse use is occasional. So the restriction says you can use your arm occasionally. So hey, I'm within my restrictions. Why are you complaining? Why is your hand still sore? On that note, WCB puts the onus on the worker to tell the workplace when the light duty job or restrictions aren't working. Okay, so it's not the supervisor or the safety committee or the employer whose responsibility is to say, hey, Andrew, how's it going? Is your hand better, worse? Tell me what's going on. The WCB Act has it the worker's responsibility. So now we're into the, I don't want to say anything, I'm happy to be back. They bought me one of those vertical mouse, but guess what? That in that case, it's not going to do anything. All right, so there's some good little points there. This is a light duty job. I went from heavy work to using a wizard knife, peeling skin, take your time, not repetitive, but look at the feet. The toes are blocked, the knee is blocked, so you're stooping. So if you have a bad back from lifting and you have restrictions, no lifting, but you can stand for a bit, you can do this light duty job. If you are stooping over for any length of time, your back's gonna hurt. What's wrong with you? Why are you still complaining? This is light duty. All right, so again, please everyone, review jobs with good ergonomic standards and guidelines. And there's a really basic checklist that actually talks and says, is there proper clearance for the knee and the feet? And can you put your foot up if you have to stand for a long period of time? So that would have helped the worker. All right, and the other one is look at the hand. It's on a keyboard tray higher than the elbow. This was a shoulder injury in a factory, and they said, okay, now you can go to this office job. You got your coffee cup, you got the phone, you can stand when you want, walk around. But basic ergonomic principles are not to have the keyboard too low, bend your wrist, and not too high, shrug. All right, so on that note, with the hand higher than the elbow, guess what happens? You shrug your shoulder. How many of you, one, know that, or two, would walk by this light duty injured worker and see the subtle difference in shoulder being up a bit? Maybe you'll know it, maybe you don't. So I'm just saying, keep reviewing and talking to workers and such. So based on time, I'm going to skip that. I already talked about why it's important to do better descriptions of the accident, incident, and worker knowledge on their own musculoskeletal issues, decisions on what to tell others. So here's a great resource for you. Okay, so if you're looking for some way that is an award-winning, researched, excellent tool for describing jobs and trying to do some light return to work, it's called JDAP. It's by the Institute of Work and Health, and we had them present a couple of years ago. But there's the website. If you just write this down, Institute for Work and Health, it's out of Toronto, and do a research called JDAPT, JDAPT. There's videos on how to use it. There's instructions. It's free. All right. So there's a JDAP that workers can fill out, and there's a JDAP for organizations. And at the bottom, I know you probably can't see it, but there's instructions, there's physical demands, there's cognitive demands, how to describe the job from cognitive demands, working with others, working conditions, job demand summary, and it gives you strategies on how to do return to work. So, you know what? If there's nothing else you remember, this was an excellent. Now, one more. They came out with another one called Decide. So this is where workers with chronic episodic injuries say, what do I want to tell my supervisor, employer, workplace? How do I tell them? I can't. So this is a resource designed for workers with those kind of injuries to decide on what to share and how much to share. Good news is, if you go to our website, we have a YouTube video. This was our RSI Day event last year. So we had a presenter talked about it. So you can go to our website, find it. It's called Disclosure and Accommodation Planning. It's our RSI Day for 2024. It's an hour long. Excellent. Done. All right. So like I said, I have a problem or I need support. What should I say? What can I do? Excellent, excellent resources. All right. And the last resource is something that we did about 20 years ago. 20 years ago. But it's this thin. It's the best thing. People love it. So it's on our website, or you can find us out. I got a few of them on the front desk for if anybody wants to look through it during their break. But basically, it was a research project on the best return to work for workers with injuries, musculoskeletal injuries, and it gives you ideas for return to work. Okay, so very quickly, the best thing to do for workers with MSIs is to make changes to their existing job. Not a light duty job in another department, not job rotation or light, instead of every one, do every fifth one, reduce the repetitiveness. It was ergonomic changes to their actual job. There's a survey called an SF36, which, yes, your physical and mental, psychological health, mental health went down. Well, you have an injury, it's going to go down. But what went down the least? Actual changes to the worker's current job. All right, so there are basic principles on how to accommodate back injuries, 3 main ones, but by the way, it's also your prevention. So if you want to use this as your prevention tool, excellent. And then it says, if you have sitting work, standing work, vibration, jarring motion, here's some ideas. Manual material handling, that's what's on the right-hand side. There's hand injuries, same thing, basic principles. Neck, shoulder injuries, leg injuries. All right? So, sorry. You want to take a picture? I'll back up. I got the book for you, okay? That's for you. Your name's on it, all right? Very good. So, I have some hard copies, but, okay, I'm done now. I'm over time. Yes, that's all you need to know. Okay, excellent. Let's get into the panel discussion part now. Don't ask me any questions.